Sunshine on my shoulders makes me happy. Sunshine in my eyes can make me cry. Sunshine on the water looks so lovely. Sunshine almost always makes me high. Good morning, Fred. If I had a day that I could give you. See that fish there? Cool, huh? I give it to you. A day like just like today. Vicky knows he's on the beach report. He's like, I'll get a swim. Good morning, Gracie. If I had a song that I could sing for you, I'd sing a song to make you feel this way. A lot of stuff going on in this pond. Sunshine on my shoulders makes me happy. Good morning, everybody. Sunshine in my eyes can make me cry. Sunshine. Sunshine on the water looks so lovely. Hi, crows. Sunshine almost always makes me high. Good morning, John. If I had a tale that I could tell you. Good morning, everybody. I'd tell a tale, sure, to make you smile. If I had a wish that I could wish for you, I'd make a wish for sunshine all the while. Sing it with me, guys. Sunshine on my shoulders makes me happy. Sunshine eyes can make me cry. Sunshine on the water looks so lovely. Yes, this is a famous song by John Denver. Sunshine almost always gets me high. It's a 70s song, so maybe you are too young to know it. I'm a widow. And the name Captain Farthouse, I'm thinking you don't have a lot of girlfriends. So, welcome back to the Beach Report. Hey, Richard. Yes, everybody's joking. Everybody's funny. Everybody's a comedian. Welcome to Tuesday. Like, what day is it? Thank you, Richard. Thank you so much. Yeah. Well, you are telling us all about your bodily functions, Captain Farthouse. So, do you really want to do that? John Roberts, you're 62 and you never heard the song Sunshine on My Shoulders. Maybe I'm just not singing it well. But that's a super famous song. For real. You guys want to sing this morning? I have to do my taxes and I still haven't done them. I just want to sing. I just want to bang on the drum all day. How many roads must a man walk down before they call him a man? No, I wouldn't date anyone, Captain Farthouse, ever. How many seas must a white dove sail before she sleeps in the sand? Hi, Stephen. Good morning, everybody. How many times must the cannonballs fly before they're forever banned? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. Well, user, I don't look at the ducks and think about killing them. That seems a bit macabre. I don't look at fish and think of catching and killing them either, so I just like to see the wildlife and imagine how they live. Look at them, they're worry-free. At least they look that way, right? What do you think they're thinking about? So I'm streaming from Fort Myers at a little pond, maybe. I don't know, would you call this a pond? It's a little bit bigger than a pond, but seems like maybe smaller than a lake. Anyway, it was created here, as most Florida bodies of water like this are created by man, where they build a neighborhood and they dig all the dirt out of the middle of the neighborhood and then use the dirt throughout the neighborhood and build a pond in the middle of it. So conquer my heart. Sorry, I'm a widow. My heart was conquered. It was over. I have no heart left. That's the way it goes. When you talk fast in the middle of singing, then go back to singing, it's funny. Funny in a good way or funny in a weird way? Let me know. Because I sometimes I talk as much as I sing. In fact, singing is a form of communication for me. Oh, good. Okay. The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. Isn't it amazing how crystal clear this water is? It's so clear that we can see this fish just hanging out. Like, if we wanted to catch him, it wouldn't be hard. Well, probably not. I don't know. I don't want to catch him. I don't want to hurt the fish. What kind of a fish do you think that is? He's really pretty. And he's pretty big too. Look, he knows he's on camera. You think he just moved out of that hole for a reason? Just by happenstance? There's another little fishy just swimming around. Is there a song about fish? Very strange. Oh, thank you, Stephen. fantasy. It gets the best of me when I'm sailing, all caught up in a reverie. Every word is a symphony. Good morning, Bendel. Yeah, last night was a lot of fun, and here I am still avoiding doing my taxes. You know, people who swim in areas like this, there could be gators in here for sure. If it's wet in Florida, there's gators. As my husband always said, if there's water, baby, there's gators every time. What do you think these ducks are thinking about? Ducks definitely have really good social lives because they're always in groups, so they have to get along. Isn't it amazing how we can share the same environment, even the same backyard, and have completely different experiences? So I think that's really important for people to realize that your experience may be completely different than the experience of other people. Nello wants to see some swamp puppies. I know, me too. I don't see any swamp puppies in here, but I'm sure they're in here. You just don't always see them. Sometimes you do see them, though. Lemon trees. I don't see the lemon trees. I'm not even sure what lemon trees look like, but I know a song about it. Lemon tree, very pretty, and the lemon flower is sweet, but the fruit of the poor lemon is impossible to eat. Lemon tree, very pretty, and the lemon flower is sweet, but the fruit of the poor lemon is impossible to eat. That's a song by Peter, Paul, and Mary. If you miss Florida and you're a former Floridian, let me take you here. You don't have to miss Florida when you're watching the Beach Report. And if you've never been to Florida, I will take you there. It is always my personal intention that you feel like you are right here, right next to me, right in front of me. And if you want to go skinny dipping in the water, Mr. Farthead, you go right ahead. I will not be joining you. Bug screens. That's a great question, Nello, because I got to tell you what, this is called a lanai. And lanais are very, very popular. I don't think they're mandatory. There doesn't seem to be one over at that house at all, but they're very popular on the west coast of Florida. On the east coast of Florida, not so much. In fact, I don't think I have ever seen a lanai in Fort Lauderdale. True Floridian. Well, I was raised in Pittsburgh, so I don't know how much of a true Floridian I am. I certainly appreciate those who were born and raised here, and they don't appreciate lots of new people in Florida because it is such a delicate ecosystem. Good morning. It's my biggest fan from San Diego, California at Southwest Airlines. Hello, Ricardo. You know, if I still flew on a plane, I would love to see you sometime, but I don't fly anymore. Everywhere I go, actually, I go by foot or by car and sometimes by train. But I don't fly in planes anymore. I'm gonna wait until I don't know. I just feel like it's invasive to go somewhere and I don't like walking through any kind of a scanner. So every time I fly, gotta worry about the sun here. Every time I fly, when I used to fly, I would always make them give me the free massage, the pat down, because I wouldn't go through their scanners. And it always made us late or made me late or whatever. But I just don't trust any of that technology. I think people use screens unknowingly as a first defense against gators. Yeah, that is not gonna stop gators from coming into your lanai. They're not that strong, actually. Nobody wants growth, but everybody wants services. Good point. That's so true. Ricardo would fly 10,000 miles through the pouring rain just to see my beautiful smile. That's very sweet, but you don't have to do that, Ricardo, because I'm on the beach report every single day, here gracing you with my happiness and my positivity as I look forward to a really good future. I just won't accept anything else. And I think we all have the power to affect what happens to us in the future. And I think that if we all want something bad to happen, you keep thinking like that. But if you want something good to happen, you keep thinking like that. And that's how I think. I'm always looking for the good in everything. Even when something happens that seems to be really bad, I have to always look for a silver lining to it because I believe there's always a silver lining. Look, I grew on myself. The airports were amazing when ICE was at the gates. It was really fast getting through. Even DFW was easy to get through. You mean Dallas Fort Worth? Yeah, that's crazy. God bless those people. Honestly, everything that's going on in the world today, it's very fast paced. It's moving a little bit too quickly. I don't know. It is what it is. Can I use you as a reference for my next job? No. I don't even know your name, Rigid, because the name Rigid is not the best name. Maybe I should just call you Vibrations, like good, 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 good vibrations. Manifestation. Well, I don't really call it manifestation because that seems so woo woo and kind of like things just magically appear. They don't always magically appear. But I think my top tip for anything, for life to be good for you, is to always be grateful. Your gratitude will take you so much further than you could ever imagine. Just being happy just being happy and smiling back at people, even if they frown at you, and not in a sarcastic, ha 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 way, but just a genuine joy of life. The French call that the joie de vivre. And I believe in it wholeheartedly. And I think that's why I have a very good life because it's not that I am looking through rose-colored glasses. I've certainly had my share of issues and problems in my life. However, I always believe that there is a reason for everything. And even something that happens and you think, this is the worst thing ever. If you look at it in a different way, it could be the best thing ever. You just don't know because it's really not up to you. Well, it is up to you in your acceptance and your attitude. Your attitude is everything because you choose your feelings. Nobody makes you feel a certain way. I mean, people can try to make you, for instance, make you feel badly. They can try to do that, but you choose whether or not to feel that way. Hello, G's. Bless your heart as well. But I think that that is the key to a good life and to getting what you want. Also, another way of getting what you want is to remain silent when negotiating with somebody. I always think back in my life when I wanted something, but I wasn't really sure, when somebody was offering me something, for instance, okay, when I worked at Nickelodeon, the show that I was working on went on hiatus. It was called Don't Just Sit There. And the producer wanted me to stay on and continue to write some scripts for that show because she wasn't sure if it was really going to be canceled. They were moving down to Orlando at the time, and they were considering resuming production of that show in Orlando. They ultimately axed the show completely, which was a very, very, I thought, one of the worst days of my life. And, but the thing is, and she offered me to keep working, I was, like, really, like, it wasn't I was surprised, I guess I was surprised, I don't know. I was kinda surprised by everything going on when I lived in New York City and wrote for television. Anyway, the producer offered me, um, I don't remember the exact at the time, I was making $450 a week as a script secretary and a writer. So I was doing the 2 jobs at once. I was writing scripts, or no, maybe I was getting $450 a script. I don't remember. I was For me, I was making pretty good money. It was, it wasn't amazing, like, the time I wrote, a 30-second promo for remember Nick at Night? It was about Lassie. Lassie was my favorite show growing up. So I wrote a promo for Lassie, and they bought it, and they paid me $2,000, and then they never produced it. So that was kinda weird. Anyway, my point being is that when the director or the producer, her name was Roseanne, when Roseanne offered me to stay on and work in the main building because the show had been gone on hiatus and might be canceled, I didn't answer her at first. I just kinda looked at her, and when I did that, she upped my pay by $100 because I didn't answer her right away. And that's happened to me a couple times after that. So when someone offers you a job and they offer you a certain amount of pay, you just look at them. Just give it a minute. So, yeah, I can imagine your 20s and 30s were wild. Well, I don't know about wild. Yes, yes, some of them were wild. Yeah, I'm writing a book about it right now. So there's that. My break is over, and I'm so glad to pop in. Maybe see you all later for a sunset later. Gretchen, good to see you, my friend. Have you ever been in a relationship and not being happy, but not being able to leave either? No. Yes and no. Every relationship that I was unhappy in, I left. Because you see me, I'm a very happy person. So, I don't know. They bought my idea for $2,000. They were quite happy. They could do whatever they wanted with it after that. I didn't care. They're offering it because they see your talents. Thank you. That's very kind. I was only in my 20s then, so it was a little hard for even me to see my talents. If you're taller than 5'5", clap your hands. Well, then I'm not gonna clap my hands because 'cause I'm not taller than 5'5". I don't even reach 5'5". I think I'm just over 5'4". Yeah, not very tall. But I always thought I was tall because all my friends were very short, so, it's like I was saying before, it's all relative. You can have the same, growing experience, the same living experience as someone else, as your sister maybe, and have a completely different perspective on life. You just never know. Relationships should offer happiness, but won't always be happy. That's so true too. I was born in 1965. I am one of the very first Gen Xers and super proud of that and super happy to represent. It's funny, because if I had been born just 12 months, wait, I was born in November, so just 11 months earlier, I would be a boomer. So a lot of my friends are baby boomers, but I am the one of the first Gen Xers. And I was never a feral child. I was adopted as a baby, so that makes it a little bit different. Hey Major, good to see you too. Hello Jose. This is Fort Myers, Florida, and I'm just in the middle of a little neighborhood that has a little lake behind it. And we're just having our little chat alone by the lake. It's a little bit bittersweet for me to be here because the last time I was here was with my husband and my dog. And I made a cute video of them. Maybe I'll post it later. But how was my 40s? Oh, my 40s, hot mess in my 40s. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I ran away from Switzerland with my children, ran away from my alcoholic husband in my 40s. I had to be very brave. Talk about a relationship you don't wanna be in, and you have to leave. I had to leave because my ex-husband was abusing me, mentally and then ultimately physically. So, I had to leave because I don't stay when somebody is hurting me. I'll stay as long as I had to. I had 2 children that I had to escape with. So I escaped Switzerland with my 2 children. Writing them scripts, were you already good at that, or was that practice to what you are now? No, I was learning how to write scripts actually back when I worked at Nickelodeon. That was my practice. And the first script I ever wrote for Nickelodeon was it was called The Teacher Becomes the Kid. I actually have a video of it. I think it's on my page somewhere, but it was really great because when I was growing up, I had this fantasy when I was in school that I wished that I were the teacher and that the teacher was the kid so we could trade roles, if you will. I'm always into this trading roles thing, like this show Wife Swap. Gets me so excited. Because people need to see the other side of someone's life if they're going to judge them. I don't like it when people judge other people. I don't judge anybody, at least I try not to. I'm 26 and I take everything you say as an advice, really, and you should, geez. Where did you go from Switzerland? Being to Switzerland, been to Switzerland, didn't like it. And I don't blame you. Switzerland is a very, very tough place to live because the people there are very tough, as in, they don't like other people. They don't like strangers. And if you weren't born and raised in Switzerland, and even if you were, you might have a hard time with other people. They are opinionated people, they do not hold back with those opinions. And as an American living in Switzerland with my 2 kids, I can't tell you all the run-ins that I had with the Swiss. Oh my goodness gracious. Sometimes they were so rude, and sometimes they were so kind. So, you just can't judge people by the group. You always have to look at the person. And I think it's very foolish to say, well, you look like so and so and so, so you must be like that. Nobody is what they look like. Nobody. Not even me. People have a lot of assumptions about me when they just come on this show and just see me talking. And they're like, oh, well, she must be a rich white lady. Well, I am white, but I'm Jewish, raised Jewish anyway. Um, but I'm also a Messianic Jew, so I accept Jesus. And I am rich, but only in the sense that I am 60 years old, incredibly healthy, incredibly happy with my life, full of friendship and love. I'm going to become a grandmother in the next month. Super excited about that. And, I only like genuinely kind people because they are open people, and that is true too, and praise the Lord, Bruce, praise the Lord. And that's another thing about me is that I am always praising the Lord and God for what he gave me, because he gives us all gifts. And if you're smart, you will use the gifts that he gave you. And that's why I stand before you today, because he gave me this gift. And I practice it. I've been doing the beach report for more than 10 years now, so I'm pretty good at it. And if you guys agree, please like and subscribe. It's so funny to have to say that, but we have to say that these days. It's the way it is. When I worked for Nickelodeon, I never wanted to be in front of the camera. That was not my goal. I'm a writer and I've always been a writer, and I never wanted anyone to see me. I never wanted them to see my face, how I look. I never want to be judged on my appearance. Instead, I wanted to be judged on the stuff coming out of my brain, of the things I wrote. I was a newspaper journalist for, wow, since 1987. Do you have a name as a grandma that you hope to be called? I always thought that I would want to be called Mimi. Mimi. I don't know. I just always liked Mimi. I called my grandmother Grandma, Grammy, Grams, and I can't take any of those names because I can't be her, and I'm fighting back tears even thinking about my grandmother because she, quite frankly, was one of the most favorite people in my life. And even though she's been gone for what, more than 20 years? Really, 20 years? No, it can't be 20 years. No, my mom died. I'm really bad with math, if you can help me out with this one. Dan Schneider, no, I never met Dan Schneider, and he was Nickelodeon on the West Coast. I was Nickelodeon New York, and then Nickelodeon moved to Florida, and when Nickelodeon was moving to Florida, I had to make the decision whether I would also move to Florida and continue working for Nickelodeon, and I actually ended up meeting my ex-husband, my husband at the time. I met somebody in Switzerland, and I left the country and became a housefrau instead of a Nickelodeon writer. I gave up every career ambition I ever had for my ex-husband. It's truth. Um, I had actually become the executive editor of a magazine, and I had done that for a year, and the owner of the magazine asked me to continue for another year, but my ex-husband was such a stinking alcoholic that he wanted to go home. He said he couldn't get better unless he went back to his home country in Switzerland, and I gave up that opportunity for him too. But it is what it is, and then I ran away from Switzerland with my children, and here I am. Um, Anyway, yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if my grandchild will call me Mimi or if my grandchild will come up with their own name. And I kind of think that that is a grandchild's right, is to come up with their name for their grandparent because we're only here to serve them, right? Advice you would give a 20-year-old right now. Yes, don't drink, don't do drugs. That advice right there is golden. If you wanna go further than the other kids, if you wanna be somebody, do not disable yourself with alcohol and, even cigarettes, anything smoking, anything. All of that disables you, or it takes you off your goal. And I am saying that as somebody who did all of those things, and it's do I regret it? Yes. Yes, in many ways, I regret it because had I not behaved that way, I probably would have, succeeded in other ways that I couldn't even imagine. So, yeah, all the times that I wasted playing video games, do not play video games. Did that too, wasted so many hours of my life doing that stupid shit. I have 5 grandchildren, and they all call me something funny. I can't wait too fast. I'm looking forward to what they call me. Any advice you give for a 57-year-old who's divorced with no kids? Yes, stay single. Stay away from any kind of a relationship that is going to bring you down. I mean, I don't know. If you wanna have a relationship, you're a man, you're 57, I would say date someone younger. If you want, if you want sex in your life and things like that, don't date an older woman. We don't care. We don't care about sex. Wait, I'm trying to read. It's really hard. Uh oh, good morning, D. Good morning. It's getting super, super sunny out here. Oh my gosh. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I have a beautiful feeling. Everything's going my way. But yeah, if you're in your 20s, realize that if you haven't started poisoning your body with chemicals and alcohol, don't start. I think that is like actually some of the best advice I can give you. The other advice that I would give you is that you really focus on what you want out of life and then, go for it. You're young, you can work hard, nothing's holding you back. You don't have any obligations for a family unless you started that one really early. And if you did, then you're on your path. And your job is to make sure those children get raised well, because that's the most important thing I've ever done was raise children. And it was the hardest thing I've ever done. Things like going to college, man, that stuff was easy. Having children, holy guacamole, the responsibility. And even to this day, they're all raised and having their own babies, but I'm still responsible for them. I brought them into this world. Unlike Bill Cosby, I'm not gonna threaten to take them out, but I did bring them into this world, and I am responsible for that, and I'm proud of that, and I'm happy about it. It's always a nice day here in Florida until it's not, but normally it's beautiful. Should I start walking backwards and talking to you again? Because that was a hell of a workout that I got yesterday. Do you guys remember that? Did you see? I was walking backwards the whole time. I'm just gonna do it because the neighborhood's gonna think I'm crazy. But when you walk backwards, you get a workout that you can't even imagine. And you don't have to go fast. And if I do it like this, I can see kind of what's behind me. Hope I don't run into anything. You guys can warn me. And talking while walking backwards is an even harder task, which works out your brain, your mind, your whole body. And yesterday I did this for I don't know how long, like 20 minutes, half an hour walking backwards and talking to you guys. And I was exhausted afterwards. It really felt like I got a huge workout. At what age do women not care about sex and why? So for me, I was very attracted to my husband, my second husband, and we had a great sex life. And then he got prostate cancer. And when he was sick, I mean, we didn't do it, but I learned more about intimacy and love from having a marriage with no sex. But so much closeness, like, we would literally I would wake up in his arms every morning. We fell asleep. I would fall asleep with him rubbing my back or whatever. It was, like, such an amazing relationship, and there was no sex anymore, and I felt like we were just as close as people could be. So, that was when I realized that sex is not intimacy, it's just sex. And I don't want a relationship like that ever again, where it's just sex. Because I've had those relationships. In fact, the man that I was involved with before I met my husband had basically been using me for a long time, and it was only for sex. And maybe that was the only reason I was using him too. I don't know. Maybe it was a double use. But I wanted a I wanted a closer relationship and he didn't. But he still wanted a relationship, and I still let him have that relationship, so that's on me, but I learned a lot, and so it all taught me that, no, I don't want a meaningless relationship with anybody who is just using me for my body. I now respect myself a lot more, and that's also why I'm not interested in sex anymore, and I would never have sex with someone I'm not married to, ever again. 'Cause that's the way I am now. That's the way I'm built. It's like they call it a born again virgin. Have you already had your goth phase? No, I've never had a goth phase. This is garbage day. Too fast. That's why you see garbage cans everywhere. So that's how it is for me. And I think that a lot of people, women and men in their 60s, after living a life full of all sorts of debauchery and craziness, you suddenly realize that you're worth so much more than that. And you also realize that your body is a temple. And if you disrespect your body, it will disrespect you back. And you do not want that to happen. I mean, watching my husband die from prostate cancer, which, who knows why cancer happens, why people get sick. and but I do know that my husband ate all the wrong foods, and I think he also let himself go in other ways. Who's reporting people? There's no HOA here. I skate those feelings 41 over here. Yeah. I think it's the moment that you realize that you are not on this earth to, as a woman, maybe even as a man, but you're not on this earth to please anybody but him. And it's not pleasing to him when you disrespect yourself and when you fall into these bodily pleasures that really only end up making you feel like garbage. Because that's how I felt. I am good. Do not want an old man. I've only had 2 husbands, and those have been the only men I have ever had. And I agree, I do not want an old man either. And my husband, he died at the age of 58. So to me, that was the oldest man I'd ever been with. And I'll tell you what, the intimacy of having a sexless marriage was very, very good for me. Have you dealt with addiction? I think we're dealing with addiction all the time. I smoked cigarettes like a crazy person when I was I think from the time I was 15 until my 10-year-old son said, Mom and Dad, I want one thing for my birthday, and that is for you to quit smoking. When a 10-year-old has to make you quit smoking, then you realize that you have to quit smoking. So I did. And I haven't looked back, and I still credit my son with saving my life in that regards. And my ex-husband was a terrible alcoholic, and I'm guessing he's still this way. I don't know. I don't talk to him anymore. My children do, and they see him regularly. So he did something right, but he turned me all the way off and became an abusive alcoholic. So I've dealt with other people's addictions too, not just my own addiction to cigarettes, but my ex husband's addiction to alcohol destroyed my life at the time. Um, in a lot of ways, it ruined my career. So thank you, Dee. And I just, living well is the best revenge. And I am living well, and I am living healthy. And, sometimes I think that the reason and, my ex-husband wasn't the only alcoholic I attracted into my life, but there were a few, and those people, those alcoholics really made it so that I didn't become an alcoholic because I know there's a gene for it, and I know that if your parents are alcoholics that you have more of a chance of being an alcoholic, but I think it's also really a kind of a learned thing that if you're exposed to a lot of alcohol or if you little bugs, if you have problems in your life and you end up drinking alcohol to escape your issues, you can become an alcoholic. So I think everyone is at risk of becoming an alcoholic. And I think that it was lucky for me that the alcoholics in my life made me realize I have children. I can't do that. So you go ahead and you get piss blind drunk and pass out. I'm not going to do that because I have children. So it stopped me from drinking. And I think in some ways, maybe those people saved my life. I smoke but don't drink. My family had alcohol problems. It coded my subconscious to not drink nor like the taste. Yes, we're walking backwards for a specific reason, Dre. Yes, there are extra benefits to walking backwards and talking while you're walking. It's the two things together, an amazing workout. I've just realized this. I just started doing it. So I think maybe a lot of my shows, you're going to see me walking backwards. because I'm talking to you. I can see behind the camera that there's nothing in my way. I'm on a cul-de-sac street. I'm feeling pretty safe. Yes, the neighbors maybe don't feel so safe, but my mom had alcohol myopathy of the heart. Alcohol is sorry. Alcohol is a coping mechanism. Some people can function and some really can't. It's true too. So a glass of wine is good for you if you're not an alcoholic. And I do love wine. I do. And I'm a bit of a connoisseur because I am a food and travel writer. So I do have a taste and the experience of having some of the best food and wine ever in the world. So, yeah. I appreciate it, but I have also, as I'm 60, I've found out that I cannot tolerate a lot of wine. 1 glass is fine, even 2 glasses is too much for me lately. I don't know. It's, I can have a mixed drink, like a whatever. I like to have, club soda with a little vodka and cranberry juice in it. That's kind of like my go-to drink lately, and, one of those is enough, and then I think, "Why even drink that? Because what is it's for nothing." It's really for nothing, and it's not good for me. Alcohol is poison. It's poison in a bottle, whole stores full of poison, and we are being told we should go there and just live it up, right? How stupid. It's stupid. Alcohol is stupid. Will you do fan meat? I have done fan meats in the past, geez, and you know what? That's a difficult thing to do. Actually, I had one for my birthday party this last November, but it gets messy. I do book signings though, so I will be in Pittsburgh this summer. I'm going to schedule another book signing. I had one last summer and it was amazing at Cranberry Township's library, which is where I have done a few like I'm walking forwards now because it's hard to walk backwards, also because of the sun. And then I can't see you guys. Hey 420. My wife comes from a family of 8. The 3 that smoked tobacco died of cancer at 55. 6 didn't smoke and are still alive and fine. Well, I hope that I have beat the cancer thing by having quit smoking when I was, gosh, what year was that? It was like 2006 or something. Wait, my son, yeah, 2006. That's when I quit smoking. July 2006 on my son's 10th birthday. So and I feel like walking forwards is way too easy. It's like my brain is not engaged when I'm walking forwards. And it's true, my brain is not engaged in walking because you walk your whole life so much that it is second nature to you and you can do it subconsciously without even thinking about it. So, yeah, my kids are in their 30s, almost. One of them almost. I have been quit for 9 months and 13 days. Congratulations. That is so wonderful. That's another thing I need to read, in my members group. I'm gonna go backwards again. It feels like it's too easy to walk forwards now. Yes, do your daily walk in the park backwards, and you can tell everyone I made you do it. This is what being an influencer is all about, right? Everybody's gonna be walking backwards. It'll be because of me. You smoked for 27 years. Wow, how many years did I smoke for? 15, yeah, wait, 2000 I hate math. I can't do it. It's so hard. But anyway, I smoked for more than 20 years as well. And there were times where I was like 3 packs a day. I was like huffing and puffing. My life was a smoke opera. I'm so glad that I don't do that anymore. It's really quite the monkey off my back. And when I'm around people who do smoke, I hate it. I'm a horrible ex-smoker. So, I don't know who it was who was asking about addiction, but my point is that you don't have to be addicted to anything. I think we all deal with addiction. We all find things. I mean, you can be addicted to sugar. You can be addicted to, the smell of peppermint. I don't know. You can be addicted to a lot of different things. But you're right, Nello, stress is real. And here's something else. This is a huge stress reliever that nobody talks about that I've just discovered like a couple weeks ago, and it's brilliant. Always talking about vibrations and frequencies, right? How about the vibrations and frequencies you can cause yourself just by humming? Hum, hum, mhm, mhm. Oh, look, it's the garbage man. Wave hello. Okay, you know, you need the garbage man. Without him, what would you do? Mhm, mhm, mhm. So I write nonfiction books. I am a journalist, and my two books that I have already published. The first one is about the way 9/11 changed our society. It's called Like It Was Yesterday, A Journalist's Files Since 9/11. And my second book is called Do You Think About Me on My Birthday? And it's about my adoption. So I would ask that you would please go to my website, jillbooks.com, and check it out. Because if you order my books this month, you will get a free peacock feather from the peacocks I raised myself. So that's a big deal. I don't ever sell those peacock feathers. I only give them away to my wonderful readers. And you can only buy my book on my website, jillbooks.com, because I'm super exclusive and I hate Amazon and I hate everything corporate. And I'm just little me, one woman show doing everything by myself because I don't trust anybody else. So Scravis is back. I can't with 9/11. Yeah. Well, my book actually starts on 9/11. My brother was a survivor of 9/11, and I started a diary. On that day, I couldn't find my brother, and I've always been a writer, so one of the things that I felt, compelled to do was to start writing about everything I could think of, and this diary is basically unedited. So that's how the book starts, but then it goes into 15 years after 9/11 because as a news reporter for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette's North section, I covered 7 different school districts. Thank you so much. Thank you, 305. Um, I covered municipalities like I don't know, 4 or 5 municipalities, like 7 school districts, and it really had a finger on the pulse of how kids felt about 9/11 and the way they wanted to fight the war on terror. And then things changed so much. Dre, I'm so glad you're here. My brother was next to the World Trade Center, actually on Water Street. He was working at the Chase Manhattan Bank. And if you want to know more about that, I have an interview with my brother that's also on my channel. Feel free to look around the Beach Report channel. There's a lot of crazy stuff that's been going on for the past I think it's 10 years that I've been a member of YouTube, but I haven't been an actual YouTuber until this past year when Facebook accused me of adult sexual exploitation and wouldn't let anybody see my posts anymore. And I have this great following on Facebook, and I was like, what? Why did they do this to me? And I didn't even really realize the extent of it until just the past couple of weeks, I think, or maybe a month since they reinstated my account. Seems like everybody who was accused of adult sexual exploitation, or also they accused people of child exploitation, which is even worse and just so horrible to be lied about like that. Anyway, I was like, screw you, Facebook. I'm going to YouTube. And I'm so glad I did. See, again, this is a case where something really bad happened to me. I was actually making enough money to survive on Facebook. And when my husband was dying, that was a huge help in my life. And then they just boom cut me off. It's like all my years with Facebook meant nothing to them. Demonetized me, took away the money that I was making. Once they tricked me into thinking that I'd made $11,000 in 1 month, and they tricked a lot of other creators that day too. But, Facebook's a horrible company to work for. So, yeah, I was false flagged, exactly. Have you made a lot of money from books? No. No, because I'm not that good at marketing myself. But here I am marketing myself to you guys. So what else can I do? So if you want to read my books, if you want to buy a book, you actually support the Beach Report in the best way that you can. Or, the gifts that I get from you guys here, the rubies, the super chats, I love that too. And I thank you so much because I'm not out here trying to get wealthy. I'm just out here trying to do the beach report. This is my full time job. You see, I come on every single day, I show up for you. Marky Mark should never trust Facebook. Facebook is a horrible, horrible company. I even don't trust Google and YouTube. Also, pretty horrible companies. And thank you, Neil. I'm a retired middle school teacher. I taught writing and reading. Oh, Stan, you must be very upset these days. How about the way they don't even teach cursive anymore? That seems like a crime. And, no, I never recover the financial losses. However, I live so well because of the way that I live is to be in service to others and in that manner of walking in faith. I always have a room actually, a roof over my head, but my friends who can provide me with places to live everywhere, all over the country, especially in Florida. So I walk in faith. I lost everything when my husband died, and I have recovered everything that's important. So I watched 2 lives get cut off yesterday. What did they do, 420? Oh my gosh, social platforms are so unpredictable. Oh, and they are, but you know what? The Beach Report is not unpredictable. I am here for you every single day, and I have been for more than 10 years, so I have proven my stick to itness. I stick to everything. I'm a very loyal person, and with that said, one person who I will remain loyal to, no matter what they say about him, is President Donald Trump. I'm just gonna say this once. Well, I'll say it a million times, but I often, get blasted for supporting President Trump. I'm not gonna stop doing that. I don't know what else we would do. Seriously, if we didn't have President Trump, do you realize the kind of danger we would be in right now? So, thank you, 42. All right, with all of that said, I have to pay those taxes, and I'm so not happy about that. But what I am happy about is the fact that President Trump has shown us all the corruption that's been in our country for 50 years, and he's uncovered it, and he's making it clear we are not going to accept it any longer. So, I hope I hope we all get restitution from that. It wasn't just me ripped off, it was every single one of us. And I lived in New York for 3 years, so am I a New Yorker? No. I lived in Florida for 11 years. Am I a Floridian? No. I lived in Switzerland for 10 years. Am I Swiss? Technically, yes. I was born in America, and, am I American? Technically, yes. But really me, I'm a citizen of the world. That's all. Nello, you have to have a positive attitude. If you have a bad attitude, expect bad things to happen. That's what I have to say to you. And I love you. So don't have a bad attitude. Have a good attitude. Have a positive attitude. Believe in the believe in the Lord having his hands on all of us because he's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole wide world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the mamas and the papas in his hands. Look, singing and walking backwards. Mamas and the papas in his hands. He's got the mamas and the papas in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hand. He's got the little tiny babies in his hands. He's got the little tiny babies in his hands. He's got the little tiny babies in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the brothers and the sisters in his hands. He's got the brothers and the sisters in his hands. He's got the brothers and the sisters in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. Now I am kind of dancing, walking backwards and singing. Everybody sing with me. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole wide world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got Wow. Let me know if you can see cut off by anything. I still see me doing my show. Give me a sound check. What's happening? I go, "Oh, somebody doesn't like talking about President Trump." All right, thank you, Donna. Okay, good, good. You see me. Because I was just in the middle of telling you all how much I appreciate President Trump for everything he's done for us, and that the people who hurt our country and tried to destroy us were the people who have been in office for the past 50 years and sold us out to foreign countries, and then let people from other countries just waltz right into our country and really put us in danger. So it's not President Trump who put us in danger. It's the man who gave pallets of cash to the Iranians who put us in danger. It was them. It wasn't President Trump. And the Pope is a joke. But we've always known that. We've always had to worry about people who pray to a man who considers himself to be at the right hand of God. I worry about his soul. But I will pray for him, just as I pray for President Trump and all of you. All right, you guys. I am exhausted from walking backwards, and I feel like I've gotten a huge workout walking, singing, and dancing backwards. So, you guys try it. Let me know what you think. I'm glad I'm back. Oh my gosh, that was weird how they cut me off right when I'm praising President Trump. One thing also that I found out, thank you, 420. The one thing that I did find out about YouTube and Google is that they are going all in on AI, and we all have to be really careful about that. So know that when you're watching the beach report, you're never going to see AI here. And if you do, I'll warn you and tell you that it's AI. I will never lie to you. I will never present myself as somebody I am not. Ever, ever, ever. That goes against everything I believe. Marky Mark says, I hope everyone here and you as well, Jill, have an amazing day. You're so beautiful. We love you. I think you guys are all beautiful too, and I love you as well. All right, you guys have a wonderful, oh my gosh, no, here's Jenny. I can't leave before Jenny. Did you just come on? Oh, I love you, Jenny. I love you guys. Jenny, I've been walking backwards, singing and dancing all morning. And you're on right now, sending a laughing disco. That is actually so apropos and so perfect. I love you, Jenny. But I do have to go because I have to file my stupid taxes. Stupid. Taxation without representation is tyranny. And you know what? God takes such good care of me. I know that I'm doing what he wants me to do, and I will die doing that. A book title for you is Do Bumblebees Levitate? About experiences in Asia. Richard, I think that's a book title maybe for you, and I can help you write it. I have my own book titles. One I'm working on right now is called 7 Years in Switzerland. So there's that. Yes, always thank you for the laughing disco. That was actually hilarious. Oh man, oh man. Yes, I gotta go do those stupid taxes. So you will not see me until sunset because I'm gonna go knuckle down. I'm gonna focus since I just did all my backwards walking and exercising like that. I exercised my brain, I exercised my backwardsness. Oh, and humming. Everybody hum. Hmm, 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 hmm. Nello. Yes, that's something else that I am doing, audible book readings. Yes, you're so right about that. Actually, maybe I should just not even write it in a make it a book form, but go right into the audio readings. Yeah, Monday, Marky Mark, you should be getting your books on Monday, and I can't wait to hear what you think about them. So, I love to talk to my readers after they read my books too. That's a lot of fun. All right, you guys. Yes, jillbooks.com. Please go visit it now. I sell more than just books, actually. Whoever, I forget who it was, somebody bought a beach bag from me, and your beach bag should be arriving today. So I sell beach bags. I even sell pillows with my dog's face on them. If you have a dog that you would like immortalized in a pillow, let me know and I'll make one for you too. Simple and strong, all your titles. Yes, that's what they need to be. So, anyway, thank you guys for all of your support on the Beach Report. I've been doing this for more than 10 years, and God willing, more than 10 years in the future. I intend to be here for you every single day. I think that's how the country got where it's at by boomers just humming along for 30 years. No, nobody's been humming for real humming because hum and it will change your life. It is so good for your brain, for your head, the vibration, the frequency. And while you're doing it, stand next to some wind chimes, maybe. It all works together. All right, Mr. Garbage Man is here. I think that's my cue to leave. I love you guys, and I will see you on the next Beach Report. So, ciao for now. Yes, vibes matter. Exactly. Good, 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 good vibrations. All right, guys. Have a wonderful rest of